Welcome back, everybody, to the McKinsey Network. My name is Deborah McKinsey. I'm your TV host and the founder of the McKinsey Network. Our special series that we have going is called Careers from Home. And it's from entrepreneurs seasoned all the way to startup to seasoned. And so what the goal is here is to help those of you that are out there promote your business, learn a little bit more about home-based businesses, learn about tax things, learn about just everything in running a business. But one of the big things that I like to do is I like to mix it up. So we've got every episode is changed up, it's different. And today we're going to talk about being a teen. How can you help your young kids that are seeing you work from home, that are there? Are you utilizing their talents and helping bring out their entrepreneurship? So this girl, let me just tell you a little bit about her. I have been involved, seeing her grow up. Probably for the last 4 years. This girl has had more businesses as a little kid. Her parents are just these rock stars that would bring her to these events. The main one, which I've talked about quite a bit, is CEO Space International. And we were meeting 5 times a year, getting an opportunity to see her grow, stand on stage. She has been a bestseller author. She's actually worked with some of the most amazing folks out there. So I'm just going to go ahead and let her tell you a little bit about what she's doing, a little bit how she got going, and how her parents helped. So I know that was a lot. So let's just break down a little bit for you here. So I have Neva Recla on. And Neva, how are you doing this morning, and where are you calling in from?
Awesome. First off, thank you so much for having me on here today. I'm super excited to come and talk with you. And I am currently located in Peoria, Arizona. And yeah, so my business experience started when I was 2 at CEO Space. And I'm so thankful for that because it gave me the opportunity at a really young age to see that you can do anything you want, and age doesn't have to be a factor of why you don't do it. And I think that was huge for me because I say I kind of grew up backwards. I started and mastered the adult world from a really young age. And then now I'm getting into like being in school and stuff. And so I think starting business at such a young age really gave me the opportunity to grow in different ways in the kid environments that I'm in now, because I had the adult space mastered. And from just starting a business really young, or writing a book, or starting a podcast, I was able to really find what I was passionate about.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about what you did. So I really want to talk about how your parents, and give them kudos to you, because kudos for bringing you along. They never treated you like, they never left you outside with the kids. They wanted you to learn something and take it. And you just, what was your first job, and how old were you? And your first business, what was it?
Yeah. So I think to talk about my first business, we need a little bit of background, because I started my first business at 2, which sounds a little bit crazy, because my parents heard about a business conference from one of our family friends who said, "Hey, we brought our kid here. You should bring your daughter with you." And they're like, "What? She's 2. Why would we bring her? That's crazy." And the business conference was CEO Space, where I gained a second family in a sense, which is really awesome. So I didn't just gain business experience. I gained so many amazing connections. And I really connected with the founder, Bernie Dorman, who I talk about a lot. He was one of my biggest mentors. And I was going to the business conference and stuff, and I really didn't do anything. I was 2. And I saw that people had business cards. And I was like, "Ooh, what's that? I want one of those." And so I begged my parents for one, and they're like, "No, you're 2. You don't need business cards." Eventually I got them to say yes. And so my first business cards didn't have a business connected to them, but it was just my face and my name and my email, because I felt fancy. And I would go around the business event handing them to people. And then one of our friends from the event came over to me one time and gave me a bag of Italian glass bracelets. I'm actually wearing one of them right now. Um, and I sold them for $10 and got to keep the profits and then spent it on whatever 2-year-olds buy. And that's kind of where I started. So I got my business cards and then I started selling Italian glass bracelets. And then from there, we kept going to CEO space and I realized the world of business was so much bigger than I thought it was.
Right. Okay. So, and I know you've never missed one. We had a teen program. Actually, those of you that don't know, I am affiliated and associated as a club president still with CEO Space. So, it's still live and strong and going. But we had a teen program set up, and so Neva was the youngest one, I think, to graduate from our
Yeah.
teen program that was to help young entrepreneurs. And so Neva, so you've progressed. Let's see what you got right after that. What happened? What did you do right after, as you started to mature for
Yeah.
business? What did you do next?
Yeah. So from there, I forgot the years. I've done a few businesses in my lifetime, but the next ones immediately after that were a I sold stick-on nails with my sister. We call them Diva Jams because her name is Danica, my name is Neva. And they were the brand called Jamberry. And so they're like these cool stick-on nails and stuff. And we sold those and we had a whole website about it. And I also did a fashion business called Hot Clothes for Kids, which I started when I was 6. That got a lot of interesting feedback from people, but it was fun. I dressed up in clothes and stuff, and I thought that I could show others how to express themselves from a young age. And I also did a nonprofit business called Spreading Light, Love, and Pixie Dust, which got inspired because of CEO Space. They did, I forgot exactly what it was called, but they would have veterans line up and watch a video and thank them for their service because Bernie was super passionate about making sure that they knew that someone was grateful for them. And I decided, oh, I want to do something because both my parents were in the military. And so I created the nonprofit, which basically I would draw pictures and then write thank you notes to veterans. And I realized I didn't want them to have to pay for a picture. So it became a nonprofit organization. And that was really awesome because I'd go around on Veterans Day and hand out pictures to people. And that was really fun. So those were my first like 3 businesses after that.
And how old do you think you were then?
Between like, I want to say between 4 and 7.
4 and 7. Okay. So do you feel like you fit in with other kids your age? Did you have a harder time, adjusting or, trying to fit in with others? Did you feel like you were like there was just something a little bit different about you, or how did you, you're in my eyes, you're a genius, and parents, we have so many genius kids out there, and if we just understood their talents and we didn't try to control them and make them do what your dream was, but let them do what their dream is and their desire and their personality and put something on it. A lot of times we based on how we grow up, we just keep the cycle going. If your dad does, works in the mill, well, then it's just expected you're going to work in a mill. It's just expected. So we have these young entrepreneurs that are coming up, and we need to really, really get out there and help support them. And if you're a parent and you're on this show, then watching this show, then I sure hope that you get some nuggets, because those little babies that are watching you run around and do all this stuff, they're going to give them a little phone, give them a little something to do. There's tax benefits to it too, as it legally, there's some tax benefits as a parent that you can do. So I just wanted to say that because Neva, I know, and I used to watch you, and you used to, you were with all the kids at CEO Space, and you were sitting there helping adults. You've done so much. What else? Let's just talk about some of the other things, because I want young people to be watching this also and get inspired by you. So what else have you accomplished and done?
Yeah. So then I also did a business that was a promotional YouTube channel for people's brands and products. And so it gained exposure for people and gained exposure for me, which was really awesome. And I would have a lot of fun because people would send in their products sometimes and I got to test them out. And most of the time their products directed towards kids. So I got a bunch of toys from it, which was super awesome. Um, and then I also wrote my book called When Pigs Fly, The Parent's Guide to Inspire Your Young Entrepreneur. I started it when I was 7 and then it came out when I was 9. So it's written by 7, 8, and 9-year-olds. And I got that idea because somebody from CEO Space, again, said, hey, you should write a book about this stuff. So I said, okay. And then I started writing a book and it was a bestseller on Amazon when it came out, which I'm really proud of. And I also started a podcast called Superpower Kids when I was 7. And it's now retired, but I recorded over 100 episodes on it.
Oh.
And the podcast network called the Superpower Network, which I work on because my parents run it and I'm the administrative assistant for it, along with the Superpower Internship Program Coordinator, which we have a whole internship for people who want to come work with us. And it's completely free and it's awesome. And I get to be the coordinator for that. The network itself gets over 5 million downloads a month and is the biggest podcast network for personal development and spiritual growth. So I started my podcast on that. I was one of the first podcasts on the network. And then it got retired. And now I do a podcast with my parents called Reclamation, where we talk about things that might be a little bit difficult for families to maybe, understand. So like taking challenging topics or taking just odd topics and turning it into something families can talk about.
I love it. I love it. And now how old are you right now?
I'm 12.
Oh my gosh. I just go, wow. I love it because I love the new hair color and the new style. And, do you actually go to school or are you homeschooled?
So I used to be homeschooled up until last year, actually, when I started 7th grade. The perks of being homeschooled is you get to be a little bit farther ahead in grades because I got to work in my own pacing. So I'm actually with people a little bit older than me, which is really nice because they're only a year older than me, but I get to be with people who I relate to a little bit more. So I started going to school during the pandemic at ASU Prep Digital. So it's an online school hosted by Arizona State University, and they do a K through 12 program. So I started 7th grade, and that was my first like real experience with school, besides a few experiences in kindergarten. And so I went there, and then I graduated 7th grade with a 4.0 GPA, which I'm pretty proud of. And now I'm in my first semester of 8th grade.
Okay. Okay. So what are you finding out right now I'm just curious because I'm not around in that whole setting and I don't have any kids living with me. So what are you finding out there with kids, especially dealing with epidemics and what they're going through? And what are you seeing that's happening to the youth right now?
I think the main thing I'm seeing in a lot of my friends is something we're all really passionate about is making sure people know that they're loved and accepted for who they are. I've seen a lot of, despite the challenges in the world, I've seen a lot of kids trying to make an impact. And that's really awesome to see. And the school that I'm going to gives us a lot of opportunities, especially in social studies, to talk about today's problems. So I got to write an essay I chose a topic I'm passionate about around equality, and I got to write about it. They're letting us form our own opinions about the world and giving us actual facts to back them. And so I'm seeing a lot of people who are like my age, older and younger, trying to make an impact in the world. So then it's turning into what they want to be, not something that they have to force themselves into.
So do you see, I'm thinking, are you seeing any depression right now with kids, or do you see any kids that feel lost, like with the pandemic and what's been going on? Are you, we've heard stories of kids that are really struggling, and because they're not around social people. And so a lot of depressions out there right now, where they are losing grandparents or parents because of COVID and stuff. Are you seeing that in school?
Yeah, I'm certainly seeing that. Not just in my school, but just kind of all around with my friends and stuff. And I think that it is certainly a challenging time in the world right now. But I'm also seeing so many people that, despite the mental strain it has, um, people like me wanting to kind of fight to get over it, because people are still looking for hope. And I think it's still out there. And it just takes a little bit of encouragement. You kind of got to open your eyes to see the light.
Absolutely. So I'm super excited that you are growing and you're 12. And what are some of your big dreams that you have? What are some of I forget what you told me. I have you recorded when you were really little,
Yeah.
but I can't remember if you wanted to be a school teacher or a fireman. I can't remember. But what are some of your dreams now? What are some of the things that you really would love to accomplish?
Ooh. Um, my main mission when I was younger is I wanted to make $1 million so I could have a pet pig. Um, that $1 million to have a pet pig has kind of turned into wanting to inspire people. Um, not just to do business, but I've gotten so passionate in the equality and diversity space. You see the pride flag in the back. Just
Yeah.
encouraging people, and through my podcast, through my business, to show them that the world doesn't have to be a big and scary place.
Mhm.
I'm starting a channel on our network on the Superpower Mama show, working with Tatiana Barronday, who's one of our hosts. And we're doing a channel. It's going to be called Kids Talk. So we talk about really out there topics around equality and stuff, but how parents and kids can have those conversations. So then things like depression and stuff doesn't start at such a young age, or at least then people know how to manage it. And I think one of my biggest goals um, right now is just continuing to do that. And I'm going to start my own podcast. I'm really in the podcast world. I'm going to start my own, which will be called Leave It to Neva. So I'll be talking about these similar topics and stuff. And it'll be directed towards teens and tweens on how to have these conversations. And I'm so extremely passionate about just making sure everybody knows that they're accepted somewhere. And using business to do so is a great way to do it, because you get to make a really big impact. And it's an awesome experience. So I think right now I'm sticking in the really just wanting to make that impact. And then I'll look in the future when I'm there.
Awesome. I think that's great. You're just going where you feel the need is, and where you're intuitively being called to help and to be there for people. Um, I am so impressed with your mom and dad, and that really adds a lot, because, and that's why, people are on the show, is because of entrepreneurship. And so probably you didn't expect there would be a 12-year-old that's giving guidance and that we all could follow. But I'm just wondering if, at the McKinsey Network, we're uploading everything to my site. We can rewatch this, and we have links to that people can follow to follow you and to get connected with you. But I'm wondering if you would you do, and guys, she doesn't even know I'm doing this, so I'm just going to throw it out there, because I really believe she will. Is there any way that you could set something up where we have maybe an application that you have kids fill out or something, and possibly maybe for like a couple months, just mentor somebody who's really, go over maybe what their goals are, or have a conversation or with the parents, and just see if you could mentor maybe one or two people that have watched the show, and qualify for you, that you think you can take to the next level, and really support them, and just do it for a quarter. And a quarter meaning not a quarter, not an actual quarter, but actually for the business world, first quarter, let's say, of the business world, the year what starts the year. Is that something you would consider?
I would absolutely love to do that. And for those listening right now, if you do want to get that support from me, you can always reach out to me on social media. I'm most active on Instagram. You can reach out to me there if you just don't just say hi, because typically if people just say hi, I don't respond, but say like hi and let me know what you want to talk about. I'm happy to have conversations with anybody who's looking for that. And the Superpower Network also offers coaching for those who are really wanting more of that space. If you're wanting a place to go to for that type of advice, you can also go to the Superpower Network. But I'm very happy to reach out if people need it.
Great. I love it. I encourage you parents to have your kids watch this, see that their dreams and their thing can come true. And we're going to follow you. I mean, I'm going to probably interview you when you're 18 and just see, you probably will have bought and sold companies by then, I'm sure. But I just want to leave with a few words. What is one of the most inspiring, I guess, what has been one of the most inspiring influences in your life besides your parents and the business world that has really helped mold you into who you are? Do you have like one or two?
Are you saying besides my parents and besides the business world?
Yeah, in the just in general, like, I'm wishing one day to meet Mackenzie Scott. Like, I want to interview her. She's Jeff Bezos' ex-wife. Like, I think she is a remarkable woman. And so that's somebody that is on my wish list. I haven't got to meet her yet, but that's somebody I really want to connect with. Do you have anybody who's really inspired you over the years in that way, or somebody that you're looking futuristic? We don't know who knows who that's on the show that you would like to sit down and have a fireside chat and maybe he spend some time with?
Ooh, there's so many people I'd love to talk to that I can't quite dwindle down one. It'd be awesome to talk to Oprah. That would definitely be something. I actually did an event with her partner, with Stedman Graham, and I worked with Wendy Darling and Steve Farber, and we did a full event with Stedman Graham. That was an awesome opportunity. I was like really starstruck by that. So I've met him, so it'd be awesome if I can meet Oprah. I think that's been inspiring to me. And then as far as just people who really inspired me, is one of my biggest I guess encouragers has been my great grandma. She recently passed, but she's 99. And the sassiest person you could have ever imagined. She lived on her own for a really long time. Mm-hmm. And she would start her mornings by drinking like a martini and just a full gallon of ice cream.
I like her.
Yeah, she was awesome. And she always told me to just stay in the present moment. And it reminded me of Bernie Dorman always said, create your heaven on earth. And so those two things have always been something I've been really passionate about, is stay in the moment and create your heaven on earth, create what you want to happen now.
Right. And I think one of the biggest ways too is, and that's why I asked you to put it out there, because there's going to be somebody on this show. I just know that can get you in touch with that, with Oprah or with some of the other folks. And the big thing is that I really want to see you make such an impact in the world. And I know you're going to do it, but with kids in other countries that have these amazing ideas, because this is a global, we're on global right now. And so that can make a big impact in the world in other countries that, have those dreams, have those desires. And so I just think you are just a pioneer to the youth. I mean, I really do. And, again, Bernie Dorman, my mentor too, for 4 years, traveling the world with him and getting to sit and have one-on-ones with people because of CEO Space, which was created about 35 years ago. We get to see an example of one man's legacy who was really trying, and I want to honor him for that, because he looked at you as just an amazing woman and really appreciated you in so many ways. And I just see that we all should, what is our legacy that we want to leave? And what are we teaching our children as far as legacy and where they want to go? So Neva, I appreciate your time today. You guys, please go to the McKenzieNetwork.com and get connected to this young one. And if you know Oprah out there, I'd love to interview her too. She's on my wish list too. But can you get Neva connected? I know somebody knows somebody that can make this happen and get her set up and spend maybe just a half an hour with her, because she is an amazing woman. She's a pioneer too of so much and has made such a big difference for people out in the world. So I just really appreciate you. I actually love you. Like, my heart just like every time I see you, it melts. So I just want you to know how special you are to me. And I am going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and sign off. I think this was a great show. I mean, I enjoyed it. I hope that you parents enjoyed it. I hope that those that are young got inspired and spend some time with Neva, get on her podcast. She's offering to coach a few people. Get your kids on it. And if you're adult and you need to figure it out too, and how to get into the mind of your child, then get coached by Neva, because she certainly wants to make an impact for children and parents in the world. And I'm going to go ahead and sign off. And my whole reason for forming this company and really getting out there and letting people know is because, don't forget, every connection creates an impact. So thank you, Neva, for your time. Please tell your mom and dad I said hello and I love them. And I'm just so grateful and thankful for you and all you do. Thank you.